Let's get started!
Hey, look at the news.
Whoa! Clever, comrade. Look at this.
Let me guess. There's no MHA this week.
No, none.
Yup.
Okay then. Allow me to upload an alternative video. So yeah, there's no new MHA chapter this week. Based on what I heard, it's because of the creator having shoulder issues. Since it would be too rude and disrespectful to make a rant video at this time, let's just go with something positive and harmless instead. Even though non-rant videos don't really do well in this channel. Anyways, for today's video we are gonna be talking about the sheer awesomeness of Mr. Muscle, especially how he freed some villains in chapter 378. Do take note that this will not be the usual incredibly honest analysis video, so don't expect any incredibly honest analysis. We are just really gonna go talking about Mr. Muscle being awesome. Now without further ado, let's go. So in chapter 378, as a part of a mini flashback, there's a panel with Mr. Muscle freeing some villains. Now before you think there's nothing special about this, do remember that Mr. Muscle is not part of Deadline's Tartarus army. He's not even part of the prison busting squad. In fact, he's literally just told to leave and go wild after being freed. And yet he's here freeing some villains, so why is he here? Does he even know a single one of these random criminals? Is he planning to get revenge on someone? Does he have any ulterior motives? Is he secretly planning to create an army of his own? But none of these could even be correct, because he left almost as quickly as he arrived. For short, he literally just barged into the scene, freed them all, refused to elaborate further, and then left. He didn't even get anything from it, which means the only reason he's there is because he just wants to help his fellow villains. That's it. What a chat. But hold on, it gets even more awesome. Like I said earlier, Deadline just told him to leave after being freed. That means he literally had the option to just walk away and be done with it, yet he still stayed to help free some villains. He's not only a Chad, but also a team player. And speaking of team player, even back then during the Tartarus prison break, he plowed through all the guards, tanked some bullets, and made a path outside faster than any other prisoner, technically freeing everyone, without expecting anything in return. And compared to some other inmates like these two, he didn't even try to attack his fellow prisoners. Now that I think of it, his team player tendencies even go as far as his first appearance back in season 3. Look at this. Mr. Muscle is perfectly content joining a group and following orders, even though all he wanted to do is go wild with his quirk, and he doesn't really need a group to do that. And yet he still joined this group. So not only he can go wild with his quirk, but he would also benefit others as a whole. These 3 examples of Mr. Muscle being an awesome team player for the villains is really just something unique and amazing, and oddly wholesome. Even though it's obviously just unintentional from the creator's part, because villains helping out each other without expecting anything in return is incredibly rare in MHA. So rare I'm pretty sure Mr. Muscle is the only one who even does this. But perhaps the best part about him is, like I said earlier, he never attacks other villains and only attacks heroes, like a true villain. Very much unlike the main bad guy of the manga, who basically did nothing in his entire run but mess with or hunt down as many villains as possible. Bird brains included. But anyways, fandom and comparisons aside, you just had to wonder, if Mr. Muscle is such a great and helpful asset, then why is he always getting ditched and abandoned every time? Well, of course, let's not forget, while he's an absolute bro when it comes to other villains, when it comes to heroes, he's a massive piece of shit, insane bloodthirsty psychopath evil incarnate who has absolutely no problem mauling them if they ever get in his way. Age doesn't matter. Other villains probably just don't want him around because they are disgusted on how brutal he gets with his victims. Hey guys, what do you think of Mr. Muscle?
That man looks like me.
Do you think that's the reason why Grilled is malfunctioning? Because he's sensing 2 dead lines?
True. That would explain everything.
I need to change my dream.
Alright folks, the video ends here.